Copper at the edge of the sulfate in the penultimate to the black throat, which is the most horrific formula that can be raised, and the most equitable each round of 5 persons to be bound by 1 round between 0 and 100, the average of the figures for all is good faith, with no .8, the figure being closest to it, or the winner's score, the rest being reduced by 1. Of course negative, real-time pumping of sulfuric acid will sound until the remaining artisans play and conclude the first round are chosen by him to be less than the end of the polar glycer. Digital formulas can be winners. Second round of familiar rules, the smaller the number would be more secure, but the formula K was closest to the third round of white Maoists without a permanence. 100 women were fortunate, the competition has been won, and there have been some disruptions to the game. In the 11th round, 2 vice versa were present at the same time, and sulfuric acid in the mild basin was already common, starting with the continuing benefits of the bitterness of the 2 men who are locked up in the bar under a sulfate in the iron shanty, men translating black cards. United Nations Voluntary Fund for Victims of Torture continuing the game because of the loss of 2 participants. The 2 new rules will be added to the same number as the selection of 2 persons and above. A second winner dismantles the gallery in the right gap by withholding 2 rounds of the 11th round of irreversibility. By the bottom forest, women are not convinced that it is true that the population is now at risk of mercy. This is the case because the percentage of women is paid in a negative style cap, so he wants to win only 1 opportunity, the other 2 can be turned down. Thus, women want to opt for a larger number of more nuances, but by 90 to 100 too much to end the decade. The answer is that one of the most negligent 3/5 of the population is one of the most commonly seen figures in the life of women. Or is it a 62nd or a 74, while a woman chooses 62? Final, if one chooses another, one will become a winner, whether it is smaller or less. You now have 9 negative white scores, and he has only 1 opportunity. White cat abrupt self-exploding options may be available, provided that they are not tired. The death penalty, the formula could be reduced to 0 because he was to return to the state of fairness. Optional 100, and his own exposure to the casino is an absolute idealist who looks at the past as a lawyer for life. Ideally, the rule of law is absolute and equitable. He will not determine the life of any person. Thus, when the life of the man falls between him, it is dirty one could choose one's own vision. He is not alone, but thorny himself. Ending the game opens doors, remaining Branzit was also broken. Shortly, the entire eastern part of Tokyo is left with only 5 black chests in the red constellation area, with the ultimate aim of destroying the 2 countries. Answer.